When you first get your UFLI data tracker, it's going to look like this. It'll say template or your last name, the scope and sequence that you chose, and either comprehensive or simplified, depending on the tracker you chose. You want to start in this tab where it says student roster/settings. We're going to enter in our student names. I'm just going to enter 5 names. These are not my actual students. Um, but as you enter it in, it will automatically change on this side, and then it's also going to change in all of the lessons, which I'll show you in a second. Um, so I am going to choose 5 of these. Um, okay, and okay. So once you're done entering your student names, um, we're going to change one more thing, and that's our work refusal. So in my case, I'm a special education teacher. I do list work refusal as incorrect work if um, I'm inputting grades. But when I'm thinking about their IEP data, I don't want to include work refusal, so I ignore it. And toggling this will change it. It's going to take a second to load and affect the changes throughout the document, but this will change whether or not it counts um, work refusal as incorrect or just as a null value, like it doesn't exist. Just to show you before we end, at this point, your tracker is all set up. You've chosen this, and you also can change your earliest lesson and latest lesson counted. When you first set it up, you probably don't need to change it. I would use this if I just want to know a student's stats for a certain quarter or a certain week or a certain month, or before or after the implementation of like an IEP or MTSS. The other 2 tabs that will be here when you receive yours is the data summation tab and the grades tab. They should say NA and divided by 0. That is correct because you haven't put any data in yet. But at this point, you're good to go and you can choose which lesson you're starting on. So if I'm starting on short E, already you can see that my student names have been inputted. Same thing here on grades, my student names have been inputted. And then also on data summation, my student names are already here, all ready for me to go. So I don't need to change anything in that. That's also good to note is I don't want to change these student names on the individual sheets. I always want to change it through roster settings. And the last thing to note about that is if a student transfers in or out, if they transfer in to your school, that's why we leave extra student spaces, is I'm not going to delete most of these. I'm just going to leave them. If I get another student, I can add them into one of these student spots. You don't want to delete the rows of a student. You can change it to null. Like I could write null or even one null works. This would kind of give you the indication that that student isn't there. But if we completely get rid of it, it's going to mess with some of the formatting. This is unfortunately a spreadsheet, so it is somewhat limited. The good news is that once it's copied and you're the owner and you remove my access to it, it's entirely within your control and Google is protecting it. Let me know if you have any questions. I think that's it for now. Once you're done with the lesson, again, you can hide it and I'll show you in a different video how to input that data.